Welcome to the show today. And today on the show, the topic is going to be near death experiences. Last night I was going through the internet looking at different videos, and I went through Facebook first and was on with looking at that lady who is a hospice nurse, and she was talking about near death experiences and how sometimes she would see the form of a shadow that was, she was thinking like an angel in the presence of people. And she said it wasn't small, it was like 9 feet tall. Well, that's great and wonderful near death experiences. And of course, as a hospice nurse, she does deal with people dying. I couldn't do that job ever. Never, ever, ever. But I'm so glad that people can, and there are people that are wonderful like that in the world that can do that. So that is great. But the near-death experience thing, I got onto YouTube then, and how do you get there? You're watching videos, and then you finally get to these near-death experiences. And there's 10, 12, 14 of them. And you're like, how did I get here? But this one really caught my eye, where the girl says, I clicked on it because she said, we all have a choice. It's you choose. And I'm like, you choose? Okay, this is interesting. So she said she had a stroke in the middle of the night, and that her one side was paralyzed. So she thought she could get out of bed. She didn't realize that she had the stroke when she woke up abruptly. And she tried to get out of bed, and she immediately fell to the floor. And she said, her husband said he heard something, but he went right back to sleep. So she tried to drag herself with her other side of her body, and she was struggling. She said it felt like a long time, but it was only a couple minutes till she got to where the wall was. So she pounded on the wall, which woke her husband up with the side that wasn't the stroke side. Pretty sure with a stroke, if it's your right side, then it's the left side that isn't functioning if your stroke's on the right side. So she got her husband up. He called an ambulance, and they took her and him, I think, in the ambulance. And she said they told him to get the family together, her 4 children, and get there because she wasn't going to make it. How did they know that? So soon. I guess as soon as she got to the ER. So how did they know that so soon? I don't know. But she said they said she wasn't going to make it. Well, then it was like 4 days before Christmas, something like that, right before Christmas. And the nurse said, we need to helicopter her to another hospital that is specializing in this cerebral hemorrhaging or whatever was going on when she had the stroke. So she calls, the authorities call for the helicopter, and the helicopter said they're not coming because the high winds. So the nurse said, I am not going to let this mother die on right before Christmas, and her 4 children and her husband, blah, blah, blah. So somehow they worked it out that they got the helicopter there. And she said on the way, her husband got to go along. But on the way, she could see the sun shining in the helicopter on her and on her face, even though she was unconscious. I'm thinking she said yes. But she was in a garden in a beautiful, grassy land area. And her feet felt wonderful, and she just felt wonderful. So she said it was a near-death experience, that she didn't really die, but it was near death. But that she knew from this experience. She saw people that were already passed away, and she even saw her other dogs that died, which wonderful, wonderful. I'm glad for that. But then she said she saw a dog there that she still owned, but it died like a week later. I'm not laughing, but I'm thinking, I don't think that a dog that's still on the earth, if dogs do go to heaven, which I'm not sure about that, but there will be animals. I don't know what chapter of the Bible that's in, but they do talk about the animals. But whether it's lambs and lions, I don't know. Anyway, I'm not talking about the Bible right now. I'm talking about near-death experience. So she said she went, and they talked to her, and it felt so great there. But she had a choice to either stay or go back to her family. And she thought about it for a little while, and then she decided to go back to her family. And she could hear them talking with her. She could see her husband over her in the room once they got to the hospital that was specializing. They said, we can't do the surgery. It's just too much. We can't do it. We're just going to give her whatever care till she passes away here in the next couple hours. Well, she lived and she recovered from that. And I think she was saying like 5 to 7 days later, she was walking already because they said she'd never walk. I guess at the time, the medicine that they gave her helped it all to heal, the stroke to heal. But she said, here's where I'm going to say I don't agree 100%. I do not agree at all with what she said. 100% I don't agree. That you have a choice. You choose before you're even born as a spirit. You choose your family. You choose your life. Yeah? You choose it? No, and no again. You don't choose your life. So I don't agree with her near-death experience. And some of the others were talking about the light that they go to and how peaceful it was and is. And there was like different outcomes for some people. There was one who even said they thought they went to hell because they repented and changed when they came back. So the near-death experience, I've never had that. But as far as near-death experiences or out of body, when I would like have one of those adrenaline rushes, like it's adrenal gland, it's not an injury, but you have too much of that where you have, like if you're going to run from a wild animal, you have this extra adrenaline power. Well, I'd have that. And sometimes at night, when I'd wake up like that anxious, I'd feel like my spirit was jumping out of me. If you never had that, you wouldn't understand that. But as far as near-death experience, I don't believe you have a choice before you're even born to go to a certain place. Some even talked about reincarnation, that you would live over and over and over again. Oh, please. No, 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 no. There has to be eternal life in the presence of God. And there's a room prepared for you. And we'll finally have transformed bodies that won't be sinful and selfish. So, near death, when you get lost, keep going and watching videos, and you get there, you're like, how did I get here? But then some of the titles, they're sort of like clickbait where you want to find out what happened to them, and they're interesting, and but you think, how did I get here? And I watched like 3 or 4, and it's like, oh, I should have never watched all these, because now it's like 10:30, 11:30, whatever. Then you lay there thinking about it, so it's almost midnight till you finally fall asleep. So near-death experiences, I've never had one. I don't agree that you have a choice before you're born where you're going and what family you're in. That would be a little bizarre. So I hope you're having a wonderful day, and that you keep dancing, singing, making music, and just living one day at a time, doing your best, and that everything is going okay. And just take it one day at a time and have fun.